Next is exposed and he slams it down. Cloud9 complete the sweep.
And nothing but smiles from C9. They keep it rolling.
I think Cloud9 is like another chance for us to prove ourselves versus like another top team. Me and Afro are like clearly like the best bot lane in NA. I think straight up to you two, we're gonna win.
Nice hook comes in as 50 is there for the Lantern Gang. The trap was there. Beautifully played. The first blood comes through again.
Stixxay and Aphromoo are pretty strong duo. I don't think we've ever had any trouble with them in terms of just bot lane. I'm not really worried.
Smoothie Button didn't get the first one.
A very well played duel by the C9 duo.
I think that we'll see who's best when we play.
Welcome, League fans everywhere, to the North American LCS. Our audience loads in today to help us close out our weekend of action. It's a big one, ladies and gentlemen, as Week 7 comes to a close and the race for playoffs is on. Earlier today, Acadian, the rest of Echo Fox entering the arena, looking to make a run towards that 6th place spot. CLG, of course, practicing behind the stage. Dignitas as well. Sorry, got that out of order. Here's CLG prepping to go up against C9. Sneaky and the rest of the squad on stage just moments ago. Getting those last-minute seat adjustments, got to be at the right height, as it is. It's amazing what in gaming it, requires in terms of, being on your own setup, right?
So precise. If anything's off.
I moved from my desk to a standard table and everything's haywire. Ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone. I'm James Daz Patterson here with Mark Zimmerman and Sam Kobe Hartman-Kensler to kick off the day. How we doing today? Losing an hour of sleep due to daylight savings?
I'm about 3.5 right now.
Oh, woo. Out of what?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. All right, well, we're going to inject some energy into Kobe today. So before we get into it all, let's go ahead and look at the standings. Cloud9 look to hold on to first place with their series today, while FlyQuest enter the day in 4th, just 2 wins above 8th place Dignitas, making the race for playoff positioning that much closer. We'll see who can make moves within the standings with our matches coming up today. First, we have Counter Logic Gaming taking to the stage against Cloud9. Then the Battle Arena plays host to Immortals and TSM later in the day. Over on NALCS 2, we have Echo Fox going against Team Dignitas, with Double Lift returning to the stage on Team Liquid versus Team Envy. After the show, make sure to stick around for NALCS tonight, where Freak, Zyrene, and Jat will recap our weekend and answer some of your questions. Make sure to tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag NALCS, and we'll make sure to grab the best ones for the end of the day. Last night, though, we ended the day with TSM clinching playoffs alongside Cloud9, leaving only 4 more spots to be claimed in the playoffs.
And their clinch was more due to the fact that Phoenix 1 beat Echo Fox. Sure, TSM had to win, but the fact that Echo Fox lost there made sure that they couldn't drop out of playoffs anymore. TSM's now definitely in.
And speaking of Phoenix 1, I mean, they're looking really good right now on a huge resurgence. And they've kind of ended up with this unintentional 6-man roster now that Inori is back. Adrian is out, but they're switching between Meteos and Inori. Meteos looks really good at the moment. And other people on the team like Zig are stepping up, and growing over time. So they just actually look a lot better, and maybe that 3rd place spot in their sights.
Stepping up in a big way for them. 2-0 week means that they're solidly in 3rd place, 2 wins above the team behind them, which is FlyQuest sitting in that 4th place spot. Yesterday, we looked closely at the bottom 5 teams, but after some unexpected losses, it seems that our scramble for playoffs has actually expanded to 7 teams. So here we go. The new 7 teams that we're looking at, of course, Team Envy and Liquid have their work cut out for them. 3 wins out of playoff positioning, but still possible.
Right, and I think when you looked a couple weeks ago, the chance that FlyQuest is the team we're talking about potentially slipping out of playoffs was like no chance of that happening, but here we are. It's getting really close, and they have looked actually abysmal. They're 1-6 in their last 7 games, and their losses are bad too. They barely beat Envy with that Mordekaiser comp. They lost to Dignitas, and I think it's a little bit of the case where we all kind of look at FlyQuest with these kind of rose-tinted glasses because we see the nameplates of High, Balls, Lemonation, some of like the favorite players ever to play in the North American scene. But if you look at another team who's going through this kind of slump, people would be way more critical than they would be to FlyQuest.
Also, it's really fun to watch FlyQuest.
Right,
they're trying all these things and going to the extremes. And
you're almost willing to forgive some things when they're bringing in these new picks because, hey, they're not necessarily supposed to work anyway. Let's look at another top team that's struggling, Kobe. CLG hasn't looked so hot recently.
Definitely, especially yesterday. I mean, versus Team Dignitas, they had a lot of issues, whether it was, some individual decisions as well as team decisions, as well as just plain team fighting, actually. They got aced multiple times
This is going to turn into an ace early on in the game.
Yeah, and before, this is game 2. In game number 1, they got ace even earlier, like 15 minutes or something around Dragon, and they were giving up really big amounts of momentum super early on, and weren't able to come back, and Dignitas had a clean 2-0 versus them.
Speaking of Dignitas, the other team in those clips was the fact that Dignitas is trending upwards extremely well. I mean, we talk about Coach Kopp kind of as a joke because the first week he came in, it was like 2-0, oh my God, it's all Coach Kopp. But since he's joined them, they actually have been looking a lot better. We saw this week that they looked pretty practiced on a Lulu Rengar comp. You assume that they put a lot of practice into that this week, and I think you can tell that, you know, I'm sure the turnaround you can't just give all the credit to Kopp for, but the fact that they did need to make a change in the coaching staff, it wasn't working, and I think the fact that they're almost back into the playoffs now. It's
Dignitas over the last couple weeks has looked a lot better. Immortals just yesterday, a solid 2-0 victory for them. Of course, you know, we're probably looking to see more consistency out of them, but the way in which they won yesterday was pretty dominant, and if they're going to start making a run, that's the way they want to do it.
And the best thing about the way they won yesterday is that it wasn't Dart carry, right? This was, you know, the bottom lane stepping up, you know, good performances from Po Belter, Katarina going off. So those are definitely promising signs because Dart might not be something you can always count on. Actually, definitely not something.
Yeah, just look one short week ago to the losses to NVT.
But yeah, so definitely maybe some resurgence there. I don't think this week would be the week to put all your money on Immortals because they're playing TSM next, and you know, might want to put that one off a week or something. But definitely looking better.
All right. Well, for an in-depth look on these types of discussions and more, check out the new podcast, The Dive. Jump into the world of League Esports with Jack, Kobe, and Azale, where they cover international news, follow meta trends, and take a closer look at the North American LCS. You can listen to them on Thursdays at soundcloud.com/thedivelol. Let's send it over to the casters, though, to get our matches for the day underway.
Thank you very much, Dash. Welcome, everyone.